With us now is Indiana Governor Mike Pence, the Republican nominee for vice president. Welcome.
Good morning.
You're smiling at what was going on?
It was a good debate. My running mate had a great night. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you agree with the idea that he was better at the beginning, but as the debate wore on, it was less good for him?
Well, no. I think what people saw last night was Donald Trump being himself. I mean, he was answering the questions. He was driving forward on the issues that matter most to the American people. Now, he has his own style. Hillary Clinton brings a style of 30 years in public life and, a well-scripted politician. Donald Trump just speaks right from his mind, right from his heart. And that's the reason why we have so much momentum in this campaign. And I was sitting on the front row there. It was such a privilege for me and my wife. But what was exciting for me was just to see Donald Trump as himself, relaxed, even in front of 100 million people. They got a real good look at the Donald Trump that
Governor,
I get to see
one of the
every
things
day.
he says was he was really getting hammered by Hillary Clinton, as we showed in that clip about taxes and not releasing his tax returns. And he said, well, that makes me smart, to the question about not paying taxes. Did he confirm last night that he does not pay taxes?
Oh, no, gosh, no.
It appeared that way.
Well, yeah, and he said afterwards, that he's paid federal taxes. But look, I think the reason why Donald Trump had a great night is because from the very get-go, he was talking about the issues the American people care about. We're in the midst of a struggling economy, a weakened America's place in the world.
But why
We've
would
got
you want
trade
voters
deals that
to
have
think
cost
of,
millions of American jobs.
I don't want to get off of the tax question for a second. Why would you want voters to think that you don't pay taxes?
Well,
why would you want to leave that impression in any way, shape, or form?
No, this is a businessman, and Hillary Clinton's, her three different guesses about his taxes when she knows he's filed 100 pages of financial disclosure information that's available on the internet as the law requires, but speculating that maybe he didn't pay as much in taxes. I think he's joked in the past about that like any good businessman, he works to pay as little taxes as he can. But I think what really happened last night was this difference in style between someone who literally embodies the status quo and someone who really embodies the kind of change and the kind of leadership that will upend Washington, D.C. and change the economic direction of this country.
We talked about earlier on this show suburban women, which have traditionally voted for Republicans in the past. The current polling shows that they're favoring Hillary Clinton. There was a moment at the end of the debate last night which Hillary Clinton really seemed to goad and go at Donald Trump's past statements. I want to play that and get your reaction.
This is a man who has called women pigs, slobs, and dogs, and someone who has said pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers, who has said women don't deserve equal pay unless they do as good a job as men.
Hillary is hitting me with tremendous commercials. Some of it said in entertainment. Some of it said somebody who's been very vicious to me, Rosie O'Donnell. I said very tough things to her, and I think everybody would agree that she deserves it, and nobody feels sorry for her.
He doubled down. He said, Rosie O'Donnell, she deserves it. But what did you make of that exchange?
Well, it culminated in an evening that was an avalanche of personal insults from Hillary Clinton. I mean, I literally lost count. She spent twice as much time insulting and attacking Donald Trump as she did talking about her own agenda. And that was just the culmination of it. But I have to tell you, I was so proud of the fact that he demonstrated that quality that is, I think, most important in a president, and that is restraint. In that moment, Donald Trump demonstrated the restraint and the temperament that the American people know is required for the presidency, even in the midst of those harsh personal attacks.
What do you mean restraint? Because he said he wanted to bring something up about the Clintons' past?
Well, 90 minutes in a row of one insult after another, culminating in that round at the end, and Donald Trump literally just completely open and transparent with the American people said, there's things that I could bring up. We all know what they are. We all lived through the 1990s, and he just said, I'm not going to do it. I think there you saw in him the restraint and the temperament that will make for a great president.
You were with Donald Trump most of it. Did he have a cold?
No, I didn't perceive that at all.
We didn't. Gail and I didn't notice it either, but people were picking up that he had a sniffle.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it at all. I really didn't. I thought he literally took command of the stage and literally drove the agenda toward jobs, the economy, growth. I mean, the focus on trade. I have to tell you that when you see these enormous crowds that come out when I'm campaigning with Donald Trump, or even the hundreds of people that come out when I'm out there campaigning on my own, it's that he is speaking into this moment for the kind of change the American people want. And Hillary Clinton last night, 30 years in public life, was just a well-scripted presentation of the status quo. And that's why I think Donald Trump had a great night.
Well, you can
But he
say
also
he's
had to
always
spend
uniquely
a lot of time
himself.
talking about the birther issue and lots of other issues that have gotten him into trouble in the past. And was he persistent about that because he wanted to get those that birth certificate released, or because he thought it had political impact?
Well, Charlie, to be honest with you, I mean, the media over the last several years has continued to bring up that issue, and Donald Trump put it to rest a couple of weeks ago, once and for all. But throughout this campaign, he's been focused where the American people are focused. I mean, the last 7.5 years has weakened America's place in the world, stifled America's economy. We've seen a Supreme Court that now it literally hangs in the balance in this election on our core constitutional principles. Donald Trump's been speaking about those things that everyday Americans are most concerned about. He did that again last night, even though there were these sidebar issues. I will tell you, though, that while issues like that came up from the moderator and other issues, it is really remarkable to many of us
Thank
that
you.
things like Benghazi, the Clinton Foundation
Pence,
emails, the FBI didn't come up at all.
You've had the last word. We
They're
can all
giving
agree.
us signals that they've got to go to a
We got to go.
That's the problem.
He is always uniquely himself.
And we
can
hope
all
you'll come
agree on
back.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you
Please
very
come
much.
back.
And there's
I
two
sure
more
will.
debates.